The station never really slept. It only slowed down. Lights dimming from sharp white to tired blue. Footsteps echoing softer through metal corridors. Voices dropping to murmurs like secrets shared with the walls. Deck 47 was the quietest place Elias knew. Too far from the trade hubs, too close to the docking bays. It smelled of oil, recycled air, and loneliness. Elias sat on a cargo crate with his back against the curved wall, elbows resting on his knees. In his right hand was his dinner. A sandwich. Plain bread. Protein slab. Synth greens. Nothing special. It had cost him half a shift's pay and the last of his meal credits for the week. Tomorrow, he'd skip eating. He was used to that. He stared at the sandwich for a moment longer than necessary. Don't think about it, he muttered to himself. Just eat. He lifted it. That's when he noticed her. She was sitting on the opposite side of the corridor, hunched slightly, hands folded in her lap. Her skin was pale silver gray, thin like folded paper. Deep lines carved her face, not just from age, but from something heavier, time, maybe. Her eyes were large and dark, reflecting the station lights like distant stars. An alien, not unusual. The station housed dozens of species. But she was different. She wore no insignia, no trademarks, no sign of rank or wealth. Her clothes were simple, layers of soft, neutral fabric, worn at the edges. She looked small, fragile, lost, and she was watching the sandwich. Not greedily, not desperately, just quietly. Elias felt his stomach tighten. He looked away at first. Hunger was loud inside him. His hands trembled slightly. He hadn't eaten since yesterday morning. Still, something about the way she sat there, alone, unmoving, made it hard to take a bite. You're imagining things, he told himself. Then her stomach growled. It was soft, almost embarrassed. She flinched, eyes lowering, thin shoulders drawing in as if she hoped the sound had vanished before being noticed. Elias sighed. Oren screamed, not from pain, from rage. He fell to his knees, blood steaming on the floor. Aelira cried out, catching him with her glowing hands. No, no, human, stay with me. The commander laughed. Worthless creature. Aelira's eyes changed. They glowed ancient gold. The hall shook. A force erupted from her, pure alien power, throwing the marauders back like broken dolls. Energy waves shattered walls. The invaders fled in panic. But Oren was dying. He looked up at her, vision fading. Did you get away? Tears streamed down her face. Yes, she whispered. Because of you. He smiled. Then the darkness took him. Oren dreamed. But not of Earth. Not of Helios 9. He dreamed of fire. A vast sky burned crimson. Mountains of black obsidian rose like broken teeth. Beneath him, the ground pulsed, alive, breathing. He tried to move. Something was wrong. He looked down. His arms were gone. Panic surged. Then the fire spoke. A voice older than stars, deep enough to shake reality. You bled for a queen not your own. Flames coiled around him. From the fire emerged a colossal shape, a dragon, scales like molten sapphire, eyes glowing violet and gold. You gave what was taken. Now you will carry what was forgotten. Oren screamed as pain ripped through him again. But this time, it was different. Bones grew. Metal hard sinew formed. Scales spread like armor. His stumps burned as new limbs erupted, forged in fire and magic, massive, clawed, powerful. Dragon arms. Not flesh. Not human. Something else. You are bound now, the dragon said. Guardian of balance. Bearer of the claws of Virex. The dragon leaned close. Awaken. Oren gasped. Light flooded his vision. Machines beeped. The smell of antiseptic filled the air. He was alive. He lifted his head. And froze. Where his arms should have been were dragon claws. Massive, scaled, glowing faintly blue and purple. Talons curved like blades, humming with energy. Each movement felt heavy, but powerful. Maintenance crew, he replied. Fix what breaks. Clean what leaks. Try not to get sucked into vacuum. She smiled faintly. A noble task. He laughed. Nobody's ever called it that. She tilted her head. Why do you stay? He shrugged. Bills. No planet to go back to. Station life's easier when you don't have roots. Sarai nodded slowly, as if she understood far too well. I once had worlds, she said quietly. Worlds? Elias repeated. Yes. Gardens that sang. Cities made of light. Oceans warm as memory. He blinked. You're a poet? She chuckled, a sound like wind through crystal. No, just old. She finished the last bite of the sandwich and folded the wrapper carefully, smoothing the edges. You have given me more than food, she said. Elias frowned. I just shared dinner. No, she replied. You shared choice. He didn't understand. Not yet. Footsteps echoed nearby. Station guards passed by, barely glancing at them. To them, Sarai was just another aging alien, harmless, invisible. If only they knew. Sarai stood slowly, joints stiff but steady. I must go, she said. Already? Yes. But we will meet again. Elias smiled politely. Sure. Deck 47's always quiet. She hesitated, then reached into her sleeve and pulled out a small object, a thin metal disc, warm to the touch. For you, she said. What is it? A reminder, she replied. That kindness is never wasted. Before he could protest, she pressed it into his palm and turned away, disappearing into the flow of the station. Elias stared at the disc. It was etched with symbols he didn't recognize, ancient, elegant, impossibly precise. He shrugged and pocketed it. Strange day, he muttered. He had no idea how true that was. 3 days later, the station went silent. Not quiet, silent. Alarms froze mid-note. Lights flickered, then stabilized into a deep, radiant gold. Ships locked in place as if time itself had grabbed hold. Elias was halfway through repairing a conduit when his tools fell from his hands. The marauders fell. The station held. When the last invader fled, silence followed. Oren stood amid the wreckage, breathing hard. Covered in ash. Alive. Alira approached him. You saved us again. He looked down at his claws. No, he said quietly. We saved each other. Helios 9 was rebuilt. But Oren never returned to Earth. He couldn't. He was something else now. A bridge. Between human courage and alien legacy. Between flesh and fire. Between worlds. He stood beside Alira on a balcony overlooking the stars. Do you regret it? She asked. He flexed his claws, still strange, still heavy. Then he smiled. I lost my arms saving a princess, he said. And gained a purpose. Alira smiled back. Then stay, she said. As my guardian. Not because you must, but because you choose. Oren looked at the endless galaxy. At the stars waiting to be protected. And nodded. The dragon within him stirred. Not in rage, but in peace. The end.